Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of Victoria Beckham Beauty. I recently picked up, it is the concealer pen that she just launched, and while I was doing some online shopping I also picked up one of the Posh Balms and also another fairly new product of hers, and that one's called the Liquid Lifting Brow Gel, so we'll see what that's like. So with the concealer pen I'm also going to use it over my face as well and use it as a light foundation and just see what it looks like. All my skincare is done for the morning. Last step is sunscreen, which was a few hours ago now, and about 10 minutes before this video I reapplied my sunscreen again. So for the primer today I'm going to use the Chanel one of my favorites. So I'm just going to pop this on and let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then we'll take a look at this concealer pen. So this is the packaging that it comes in, the standard Victoria Beckham Beauty packaging, and we'll take a look inside. Now this concealer pen, it has 2.4 mils of product. It has a shelf life of 6 months from date of opening, and it is made in Italy. So this is what the concealer pen is like. Very luxurious packaging, which is typical of Victoria Beckham Beauty. And at the very end on the cap you've got the VB for Victoria Beckham, and in this really beautiful cobalt blue. So there is just the pull off lid and it just clicks back on again, and the applicator itself is a little brush, and they do recommend in the instructions that after use to wash it under warm water. Now I haven't used this at all yet, so I'm expecting that it'll take quite a few clicks at the end. You just click it at the end here and it'll take quite a few just to get that initial product out, and then once you use it the second and subsequent times then you only need about one click. So it took quite a few clicks to get this product out, probably about 40 to 50 clicks, which is typical with this type of applicator brush, and then the next time I go to use it I'll only need about one click to get the product. Now the shade that I got, it actually looks a little bit dark, and it is LM1, but I think it's going to work really well as a foundation. So the product itself, I'll just blend it out a little bit on my hand. It feels really creamy. It does feel beautiful, and of course this is packed with skincare ingredients. And this concealer pen, like many of her other products, is done in collaboration with Augustinus Beta. So it has the patent in it, that's the TFC8 in it. Now this concealer does come in 16 shades. It is supposed to give luminous coverage, and it is also a light to medium coverage. And the main points with this concealer pen is that it's supposed to give visible improvement for fine lines and wrinkles, diminishes dark circles, decreases under eye puffiness, improves appearance of hyperpigmentation. They also say that after 8 hours of wear it does not settle into pores and imperfections, does not look cakey, and it does not move. So the TFC8 product, which is patented by Augustinus Beta, they say that's a carefully crafted blend of high-grade vitamins, lipids, and high-performing proprietary peptides that transports key nutrients to the cells for renewal, which help with combating signs of aging and damage. Now I have used a couple of the Augustinus Beta products before and I really like them. One is a moisturizer that's probably a bit too rich for my skin since it is oily, but I use it on my neck and chest area and I've found that to be really beautiful. So I chose the shade LM1 because on the website it says light medium with neutral warm undertones. And to me it just looks like it might be a little bit dark, but probably going to be perfect as a foundation, but I think it'll still be okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a foundation first. So I'm just going to do another couple of clicks with the pen, and I'm not going to put a huge amount on. I really just want just a very light natural coverage. So I'll pop a little bit up through there, just move that here out of the way. So really I'm just using what came out of that little click that I did. And the brush that I'm using, this is a Rapha one, and this is the B02. This one was gifted to me. Now, Victoria Beckham Beauty in the past has gifted me products, but this concealer pen and also the balm that I'm going to use today, as well as the eyebrow product, I purchased those myself. And then I'll just do one more click and just do the other side. And then after I've done this, then I'll apply it under my eyes as well. The product blends out really, really beautifully. And of course, it's not just this concealer that you can use as a foundation. You can use any of your concealers as a foundation or instead of a foundation. And it's quite nice because it just gives a very light, natural coverage. So used all over the face, I think it looks really lovely. And when I feel it, it does feel like it needs a light powdering, but it doesn't feel as emollient as I thought it would. It's definitely moisturizing, but I think I'll only need a really light powder. So now let's use this as a concealer as it is intended. And I'm just going to put it on just like I normally would with concealer, a little bit in the inner corner, some under here, and just towards the outer part of my eye as well. Now, I don't have a huge amount of darkness under my eyes, but I do have these quite prominent veins through here, and they are a green tinge. And when I really want to hide them, I use a tiny amount of a color corrector, but I won't be doing that today because I want to see how well this concealer covers them. So I'm just going to take a Sonia G, this is the soft concealer brush, and just blend this out. It blends out really beautifully. As I was saying before, it is really creamy. The other thing that they say on the instructions on the website with this is to make sure your under eyes are really moisturized. I do that anyway. Even though I've got oily skin, I always make sure that under my eyes is really well moisturized. And that's because under the eyes can dry out, and if they do dry out, that's when it can start to emphasize your wrinkles and crinkles. And also, I think it would affect the wear of the concealer as well. And then just put some under the other one. So they say that this is a light to medium coverage, and I would agree with that. I wouldn't call it a solid medium coverage. It looks really pretty under the eye, and as I said, it blends out really beautifully as well. Now, if I wanted more coverage from this, then I would put on just a little bit of my corrector first, just to cover that green, because this concealer by itself doesn't really cover the veins under my eyes. But all the rest through here, it does conceal really beautifully. So next time I use this, I will use a tiny bit of corrector and then this over the top. And then just like with all the other concealers that I put on, then I just use my fingers and then just press the product in. I just find with the warmth of my fingers, it just helps to meld the product in. So that's with it all on. And I think it does look really lovely, but definitely a light to medium coverage. I wouldn't say this is a solid medium coverage. So if you want something with more coverage, then I don't think you'll like this concealer. I quite like it. I don't mind if my concealer doesn't give full coverage. As I said, it's really just the veins under here, and that's better dealt with just with a little bit of corrector instead of piling on concealer. But it sits on my skin absolutely beautifully. It doesn't sit into my lines and creases, and it feels really beautiful as well. So just like with all my other concealers, I will powder over the top, and at the moment I'm using the beautiful Hourglass powder. But before I powder under my eyes, what I normally do is put on a little bit of eyeshadow primer, and then do my eyebrows as well. So now let's take a look at the liquid lifting brow gel. This is the packaging that it comes in. It has 3.5 mils of product, has a shelf life of 6 months, and this product is made in Canada. And I picked up the shade. It is light brunette. So I'm just putting some on the back of my hand, just so you can take a look. Now I do also have the Victoria Beckham, the eyebrow pencil, and I have this one in taupe, so I'll do a swatch beside it. So this is the Victoria Beckham, the eyebrow pencil in taupe, and this is the brow gel in light brunette. So this looks like a really good match of this one that I really love, so I did quite a good job of choosing the shade. So it just unscrews the lid, and I will show you the little brush and we'll see what this is like. I'm hoping it's going to be really good because they're like a 2-in-1 product. So this is the first time of me using this, and I really like the shade, so I'm very pleased with the shade. So this product is supposed to separate, lift and define each brow, and they do say that if you have any little gaps, then to take the eyebrow pencil and just fill it in. So in this range they have 5 different shades. 4 are pigmented like the one that I've just used, and they also have one called Crystal Clear. So if you just want to use your normal eyebrow pencil and then just do the crystal clear over the top, and it's be similar to, like, I can feel it now, it holds the brow in place and it doesn't feel heavy and it doesn't feel crunchy at all. So the crystal clear one would be similar to like the Benefit one that I normally use. So I don't really have too many gaps, just a little gap there. And I'm just going to do a little bit of filling through there. Hopefully that will hold my brows in place. I'm really pleased with the shade that I chose, that light brunette. I think it's the perfect shade and certainly matches this taupe eyebrow pencil absolutely perfectly. So now the concealer's been sitting for a few minutes and it still looks really lovely under my eyes. It's not settling or creasing. So now I'm just going to take the Hourglass powder and I'm just going to use my finger just to set this concealer down. Just the tiniest amount of powder. And I'm also going to lightly powder the concealer that's on my face as well. I am really liking the look of it on my face. It's not settling into any lines through here, and I think it looks really lovely. So just going to use the powder puff and just do a very light powdering. I haven't got much powder on my puff at all, but I just want to just set this down. So now I'm going to put on some bronzer and eyeshadow, mascara, blush and highlighter, and I'm not going to talk during this. What I'll do while I'm editing this video, I'll put some music to it, and then once I finish that, we'll take a look at the Posh Balm.
The river flows one direction, and fishes, they follow the flow. But what if one tried to mention that there was much more to explore? Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. A dragonfly heard the message. Darkness was home for the star. It spread its wings to the surface. The bright colors set them apart. Here I
So now let's take a look at the Posh Balm. I got the shade, this is in Fleur. It has 1.8 grams of product, and this is made in Italy, and it has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening. Now, when I initially saw these online, I thought they may be plastic and quite lightweight, but they're not. Even though they are the lighter colour, they feel quite hefty in the hand. They feel luxurious, typical of Victoria Beckham Beauty. And it's just a pull-off lid, and then just click it back down again. Now, one thing with these, I haven't tried this yet, but I have heard from other creators that I've watched, you can wind it up, but you can't wind it back down again. I used something the other day that had that as well. Oh, that was the Hourglass, the lip gloss. That one is the same. You can wind them up, but can't wind it back down again. So I'm not going to wind it all the way up. This looks like a really beautiful pink shade. I will do a swatch on the back of my hand. I don't know how well it will show. So there is the shade Fleur swatch. I think it looks really beautiful. My type of shade, just a barely there wash of pigment. It feels lovely on the hand. I'll just go to blend it out a little bit. It definitely has a gloss to it, and it also feels really moisturizing as well. So just like with the eyebrow gel, this also has a clear shade as well, so you can pop it underneath the lipstick, pop it over the top just to give that beautiful gloss, or you can also use it as a lip treatment as well. And there are 4 shades in total, one of them being that transparent shade. And then on the website they also say that each click gives a perfect dose, and they also say that this is buildable. So that's with one layer, and I think the shade is gorgeous. Definitely one for my everyday type of makeup, but I'll put on another layer and we'll see if we can build it up a little bit. Such a pretty shade, and it feels lovely going on. It's not, even though it is a balm, it doesn't feel too thick or too tacky, but the shade is just absolutely gorgeous. So here is the finished look, and with it all together, I do think that it looks really pretty. Let's start off with the concealer pen by Victoria Beckham Beauty. The formula is absolutely beautiful, and it is sitting beautifully under my eyes. Now, one thing with this concealer pen, if you are really concerned with a lot of darkness and you want that coverage, you are not going to get it with this concealer pen. You'll want something that gives more coverage. I think this is just like it says, it is light to medium coverage. I don't think that you can build it to a medium coverage, and if you could, you'd be adding on too many layers. But if you just want a little bit of coverage under your eyes, you still like that natural look underneath, and you haven't got this major darkness or other concerns going on, then I would recommend this concealer. It is really beautifully. But like I was saying, if you have darkness that bothers you, then this won't be the concealer for you. I love the packaging that it comes in. I also love the brush as well. So the method of application with this is really gorgeous. And actually all over the face, it looks really beautiful as well. I was a little bit concerned with the shade when I first swatched it on the back of my hand, but I think it looks really good. I could possibly go one shade lighter if I wanted that extra brightness, but I quite like a concealer that matches my foundation, and it's certainly going to with this because I used it as a foundation as well. It is a really lovely formula. So you are going to ask, is this going to replace some of my other concealers, especially my beloved, it's the Chanel Sublimage, and I also really love the Dior one as well. There's also a couple of others. No, it's not going to replace those. Yes, I do think it is a beautiful concealer, but it's not going to take place of those other ones that I really love. Would I purchase it again? Yes, I would. I do think it is really beautiful, but as I was saying, it's not going to probably sit in my top 3. It would probably be in amongst the top 5 or somewhere around there. So this brow gel I really like. It's actually called the FeatherFix, and I love the shade that I got. And it's keeping my brows sitting really well, and I'll just see how it goes throughout the day, but it doesn't feel crunchy or heavy. It's a really lovely product, and thrilled with the shade that I got, and it's a perfect match for that taupe eyebrow pencil that I've got. So far so good. And of course the last product is the Posh Balm. I love the shade. I think Victoria Beckham does a really beautiful job at many shades, but pinks in particular. She tends to just knock it out of the park with pinks. For me, this is the absolute perfect pink, and also like the blush that I'm wearing, that's a really beautiful shade of pink as well. This feels really beautiful. The packaging is luxurious. I think some people thought, and I was one of them, that because it was a lighter color that it might be plastic, but rest assured that it is not. And all over, this is just a really beautiful formula, and I would pick up more shades in this. I would have to have a look and see what they've got. I think there's quite a deep brown one. I'd probably pass on that, but I'll see what else that she has. But really beautiful gloss. So overall, I'm really pleased with the products that I purchased. It's been a while since I did purchase a Victoria Beckham Beauty product, but as per usual, they are just absolutely gorgeous. It is an outstanding brand. Really, really beautiful. So I'm wondering what next that she's going to launch. She doesn't tend to give any sneak peeks or anything like that. They just sort of all of a sudden appear. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe not the next one, but maybe next year that we see a foundation. I know there are a lot of people that would really love to see her launch a foundation. So we'll just have to wait and see. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.